Hey everyone, welcome back to the Duchess of Unicorn YouTube channel. On this channel, I surf the net on my surfboard, which I share with you, and we look over anything that's trending British royals in terms of, and particularly, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Now, that may widen up later on, but right now I'd like to concentrate and share my thoughts on the stuff that's going on and what we see. I call it trickery, but it's like any celebrity. There's always some kind of point, especially when you're dealing with PR, because maybe you're wanting to do XYZ, but your PR people think ABC would be better. So we're seeing what PR is handing down to us through the media. And if you're interested, whether you're for Meghan or you're not for Meghan, like you're not really into her and her, kind of the stunts and the acrobatics and the whole thing, everything, even with Prince Harry doing what he did, leaving his family, his whole family, what he knows behind for Meghan Markle sounds a little bit ridiculous, considering that this guy wore a Nazi uniform and, several years back. And I really don't understand why suddenly he's become heart on his sleeve type of guy and thinking of, every single thing Meghan Markle says. Now, what they do say is birds of a feather stick together. So that is a possibility. But however, myself being biracial, I really don't think that someone who is wearing a Nazi uniform and me would ever be hanging out. So even if it was 10, 20, or 30 years back, that person would have to be unbelievably frank and show me by example, by doing and not just speaking, that person has changed, or that was a circumstance in their life where they made a terrible decision, and everybody's allowed, a mistake or two here and there, of course, in their life. But when you're talking about racial identity and you're telling me that there's this British prince that I'm going to be engaged to, that, I'm dating, that actually wore a Nazi uniform, that would kind of be a super red flag. But here's the thing. We all don't know what was in Meghan's heart when she decided to sit down in front of Prince Harry. We don't know. We can assume, and that's what's being played out right now. There's people who believe Meghan is completely wonderful and, wholeheartedly devoted to the world, which if she was, you would have saw a lot more advancement prior to Prince Harry. Prior to even meeting him, you would have seen a lot more doing. So not just a UN thing here and there, or speaking on stage because they want to fill their dance card up, not as an extracurricular activity outside of her, acting. You would actually have seen her devote much, much more seriously, invested time into humanitarian type of activities, and you would have seen that, and it would have shone and shined. Not just someone who, while she was off from work, decided to do a couple of gigs when they gave her, a couple of gigs. No, I'm not saying it's not wrong. I mean, it's not right for her to, want to do something as much as she would want to do. But if you're really someone driven, as Meghan tries to show that she's driven, you will see that person and the humanitarian aspect of their life just engulf them. And she had to work. Of course, she has a job. But when you think of it, making $500,000 per episode and above, that allows you to do a lot. And as a matter of fact, if you're a real humanitarian, as deeply as she is acting like it, you would see that you'd take some of that $500,000 plus salary annually, and you would devote some of that to starting your own organization, or devoting a chunk of money to an organization, not just handing out a bread or a bowl like you were an average Joe or Jane. So I'm not trying to knock it down, but I'm trying to make a statement that if you are a humanitarian, you always were a humanitarian, and you would not need another person of of such caliber as Prince Harry to float that cause, that desire of yours, because you would already have been able to establish that into your 40s. So moving along, they are now going to create a movie based on Wallis Simpson and Edward VIII's relationship. This should be interesting because I think that, well, I can imagine that they would kind of throw in a little bit of sauce about Prince Harry and Meghan. However, not really too much. And they'll probably stay true to the original story, but they're already on the right track, because 4 years or 5 years down the line, perhaps we're going to see, and I think even sooner, but we'll see a movie or a documentary that is not paid and bought by Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, but somebody outside of them. Because really, honestly, the world is watching and has been watching from when they were dating, and even before in Prince Harry's case. So we're going to see somebody put together enough funding and be able to produce a movie or a book, even if it's an ebook, I'm going to be there for it, that shows a bit of the real story. So it lifts the veil a little bit. And I really think that's going to happen because there's a lot of people that are going to be very bitter in the royal family in terms of Meghan Markle. However, there's always the aspect that everybody will always want to protect Prince Harry. Because again, he'll always be family. Meghan can not become family as much as signing a paper on a dotted line of a divorce decree. So, but Prince Harry will always be family. So he can turn around 10 years from now, 10 days from now, and decide he wants back into his family. And they may make it a little rocky for him, but they'll always be there. And he'll always have that bloodline. Now, when I say bloodline, that makes me think of, so the Wallis Simpson and Edward VIII, I believe. I feel like that's going to be kind of an interesting movie. It'll be watchable, but I don't know how much it will be watchable to the next generations. And now it's the next generations that the younger generations than you and I will be watching for the Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. And it's not going to be the really, really young generation, because they're going to be the generation that either says Meghan Markle is awesome and we get it, and we can see through all the Hollywood or any little thing that doesn't look right, and we see a great woman there, a humanitarian, someone that really is active and caring and loving, and then she's got this little baby, and then she might even be pregnant. As it's been said, she is already pregnant by Blind Gossip, has put out something that she may actually already be pregnant. So what I'm saying is that the younger generation may not really click on to this Wallis Simpson and Edward VIII because it's so far removed of history. However, I know in America, a lot of Americans really don't care about British royalty. They just don't care. They don't make the assumption, between British royalty and presidency. They don't really get, a lot of people don't care to get the difference between a monarchy and a democracy. I, on the other hand, understand that Queen Elizabeth owns a pretty good empire, and that's an empire that has been handed down over and over and over again. Good, bad, or indifferent, it's just been repeatedly handed down over and over and over again, and often creating more wealth than it had years and years back. Now, the thing about that is a lot of the monarchy's royalty, their money, their clout, their everything that they have has been acquired by taking over other countries or other municipalities or other kingdoms and stealing their goods. So like in Africa, colonizing Australia, and taking and taking and taking. Okay, so it's not like it's a good thing per se, but it says all is fair in love and war. And so that's what we have today. Now, a lot of people, and I've been watching some other shows, and they're not important because I was flicking through YouTube, but I noticed a lot of documentaries show students in regular systems within UK saying, the monarchy should be abolished. It's old school. It has no relevancy today, or the wealth of the monarchy is so great and tips the scales for the poor people, or makes the people poor based on the fact that they're so wealthy and many in their country are not. And so by distributing that wealth and abolishing the monarchy, or just completely just ridding the country of the monarchy and letting them go live their life in obscurity, would be the best thing for the whole entire people, the whole country as a whole. Now, it is an empire, and it is the British Empire. So when we go back to Meghan, we think Meghan Markle did not trip and fall upon Prince Harry by any happenstance. She herself had this calculated. And I do 100% equivalently believe that she did, in fact, think about this and have this introduction, not by one person, but it took many. Because you think about it, Prince Harry has handlers, and Meghan Markle and PR has PR people. I mean, most Hollywood celebrity people, actors and actresses have, associations, and they have PR. And you would call it, one PR company would call another PR company, or they would talk over an event or what have you, or do lunch. And if another celebrity wants to hang out with another celebrity and they just want an introduction with each other, well, they go to the same events, or maybe Meghan's PR has Meghan go to an event that maybe someone Meghan wants to meet is there. And that can happen. And so there's so many scenarios that could be part of how Meghan got around in Hollywood. Now, understand Meghan, and it's been established over and over and over again, that Meghan Markle had never really hobnobbed with anybody of an elite status in terms of big Hollywood. Like, I know I always say this, but Meghan Markle, Ryan Reynolds, I can think of so many, Jennifer Aniston, anybody, Angelina Jolie, those things didn't happen. Those people are echelons and echelons away from her. They're not even on her totem pole. But Meghan was in Hollywood, but it doesn't mean there's a lot of people in Hollywood. There's a lot of people in Hollywood trying to make things happen. And so when we think about Meghan Markle, we don't think about elite Hollywood stars. The wedding, well, what would you do if your PR person was contacted by, say, Meghan's people, and she said, I have 500 tickets, or I have 300 tickets, and we would like to know if Oprah would like to come, or we'd like to know if Idris Elba would like to come. And of course, why not? It's publicity. They're going to be on TV. It's going to look like they know the royals, meaning anybody in the royal family, and maybe even Prince Harry, and some do. Some have met him. Like, you didn't see Rihanna there, but she has met and done a lot of events for AIDS and with Prince Harry. And so we didn't see Rihanna there, but she knows Prince Harry very well through events and doing other things. But that's business. So it makes you wonder how all these stars had shown up, all these people that we see in America and abroad showing up at the wedding. Well, that's PR. That's good PR, because now it makes Meghan Markle look like she has some serious clout. And she came out of left field like an asteroid. Okay, she came out of outer space. She has really no real business really being there. And she proved that by exiting the royal family as quickly as she could. And understand that once you take that type of endeavor on and you get into the royal family, you and I both know that it's not going to be something that is easy to get out of. It's going to take time. It really is going to take time. Okay, so let's look at what is showing on my United States browser in the United States about Meghan Markle these days, which is really not a lot. And maybe it's the same or similar to what you see in your country, or maybe you have something better. But I don't like to get too deep with this because we all know that it's a joke. Now, see this little baby picture of Meghan Markle right here? Let's see if I pull this up, will this same picture come up? Now, I'm at 1512, so I don't want to stay too long because nobody loves my ranting and raving about things just because they're spitting in my head. I notice sometimes what I want to come up doesn't come up all the way. So you saw, okay, so this little baby picture, take a good look at it. And it says Splash News, which Splash News is definitely rubbing elbows, wonderful elbows with Meghan Markle. So when you see Splash News, you know that this is an article that's in favor of Meghan Markle. But look at that baby photo. Take a good look. Take a good look at it. Take a good look. Okay, so take a good look at that photo. And then let's see. Let's see if I can just dig. Now we see that articles are saying baby Archie loves being outside in nature. Doesn't every child? Now take a good look at the photo that you saw when you saw Meghan, and then take a good look at, I don't know if I can enlarge it, so it's not letting me enlarge it. And this is a Getty image, but look at the photo of the baby, which is supposed to be Archie, in the little pom-pom hat. That photo looks a lot like Meghan's photo that we just saw when she was a baby. It really does. It makes me wonder, and I'll wonder and wonder and wonder. It's amazing how they don't want us to keep looking at the baby through simple, clear photos and no video that's clear. And it's amazing because they know they can Photoshop and change things up. So I want to end this video because it's been talked about a lot, but it's said that baby Archie is just doing great outside, you know, loves the nature. And then now he's in the city, he's in, you know, LA, which I don't really even believe. See, here's the thing. What's that saying? Believe none of what you see and half of what you hear. Is that correct? Well, if it's not correct, just let me know in the comments. But that's how I treat everything Meghan Markle. All right. And Prince Harry has let a lot of people down. But, you know, honestly, he doesn't know us, doesn't care about us. We don't exist. We're just some faces and little images outside when he looks over the crowd. And you got to wonder what the real motivation is. The real motivation is within their own households. And as far as Meghan Markle is concerned, and we know they're having a Wallis Simpson and Edward VIII, I think, movie coming out. Kate Blanchett is supposed to play Wallis Simpson. That's going to be great. I think it's good for the other people a little bit older, but for the younger crowd coming up, they really need to do something a little saucy. They need to show us a movie of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. However, not funded by Meghan Markle, not funded by anybody on the inside in terms of Scooby and all these other Town and Country magazine and People, all these kind of places, but show us a movie created with the truth. Even if it's a documentary on YouTube, I'm there for it. All right, I'm going to let this go. I've shared my browser with you. I will see you in the next one, and look for that movie about Wallis Simpson, which is very similar to Meghan Markle, which is why I say Meghan Markle never trips and falls and has happenstance. What she has is calculating just like a celebrity PR person who wants to make sure she can hand guide how the public views her. However, it is backfiring on her. And so we wait and see. Okay, I will see you in the next video, which will be in another day or so. But in the meantime, check back on some of my other videos. And better yet, if anything I say or anything I have said in previous videos resonates with you in any kind of way, show your support. I'd love it if you subscribe. I love to be able to know that I'm speaking with you and sharing these videos with you every week. I do this several times a week, so I will see you in the next one. Thank you, and stay safe and stay strong.